Welcome to the 2020 Student Council Presidential Debate. I'm Lucas. With me are Julian Hernandez.
Hello, guys.
Dylan Perez.
Hey, guys. I hope everyone's doing well.
And Juanchi Tejera.
What's up, guys?
So every candidate will have a 1-minute introduction. So we're going to start with Mr. Hernandez.
All right. So I'm just glad to be here today with two awesome other candidates, and I just hope you today. I'd just like to start off that I hope you guys can make a decision between the three of us because we're all great people, and what just sets us apart are the ideas that we've brought and who we are as people. I've brought ideas that have to do with student body and student council communication, fixing the lunch lines, fixing the cafeteria food, more flex destinations, making sports and club recognition days, more Belen outings, more events within our school and with other schools. And personally, like how I am as a person, I know I'm a very hard worker. I get my work done, I don't procrastinate, and I can be a bit stubborn. So I know if you guys put your support in me and if you guys believe in me, I can get the work done. Any ideas that we have right now, I think we can make them into possibilities if you guys consider me for the position of student body president. So thank you, guys.
Thank you, Mr. Hernandez. We're going to now move to Dylan's 1-minute introduction. Dylan, you have the floor.
Thank you. My Belen brothers, my name is Dylan Perez, and I'm running to serve as your student council president next year. The president of Belen has the responsibility of bridging the divide between the administration and the students. I strongly believe that my communication with the student body surpasses that of any other candidate currently running, making me the ultimate bridge. Before campaign week even started, I sent my phone number to every single student in Belen. I was the only presidential candidate who did this. They all had the chance to call, text, or reach me directly from my personal cell phone because I believe in personal communication. Google Forms and surveys are effective, don't get me wrong, but speaking with a student and hearing his concerns directly are more important to me by far. I have promised every single student that any problem they have will go straight to the administration from me because that is what every single student at Belen deserves. They deserve a platform to voice their issues, and it would be nothing short of a blessing to serve as that platform. School-wide competitions, grade-wide field trips, and more freedom during flex are some of the greatest things on my platform. With your vote, these ideas can and will become a reality. Thank you.
Thank you, Dylan. We're going to move on to Mr. Tejera for his 1-minute introduction.
It's Juanchi Tejera here. If you guys don't know me already, sending you guys emails with my ideas. We've been communicating for a while, and at this point, I really think you either have a good idea of who you're voting for or more or less kind of know, and this is why you're here today. If you're watching this debate, to make a decision. Like Julian said, our ideas do set us apart, but I think more than that, or to them, sets us apart. And I think my approach to everything so far, as you guys have seen in my emails, has been communication with people, already in contact with Lourdes and Carrollton. And I'm going to use the rest of my time to tell you guys the first 6 things I'm going to do if I'm elected as president. Number 1, set the date for field day. Key. Number 2, start talking with the administration about the new makeup policies. Number 3, start trying out new systems for student communication because we can't really agree on that right now because everyone agrees that it's a problem, but we need to find a way to do it. Number 4, talk about the middle school superdelegates. Number 5, I want to ask about Dylan's idea of student parking lot. And number 6, get to know my VP and start working on the cabinet. Thank you, Lucas.
Thank you, Juan. We'll now move into a 15-minute debate. I received the questions shortly ago, so it's raw for me, you, and for me. So this first question is to all the candidates. The office of the president is rigorous, time-consuming, and requires sacrifice. What are you willing to sacrifice next year during your senior year in order to do the job of president effectively? So we're going to start with Dylan for this question.
Thank you, Lucas. Students of Belen, I'm willing to sacrifice my time and my dedication to this presidency. If you saw one of my videos that I posted on the on-campus page, it was a behind-the-scenes look at what goes on during the campaign. It was 1:30 in the morning or around 1:15, and I was still working on huge ideas for the school. That's me putting my all into this. I lose sleep because of this. I put everything I can and so much more to make you guys have an excellent year. That is what I am sacrificing. My time, my chance to do other things that don't have to do with Belen. We all have lives outside of Belen as students and as regular teenagers, but I'm willing to give that up for the sake of you guys and so all of you guys can have an amazing year. That is proof. That video of me staying up late and for many hours after that I was still working, that I'm willing to give up a lot and an extreme amount just for the sake of the students and for the school. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Hernandez, the office of president is rigorous, time-consuming, and requires sacrifice. What are you willing to sacrifice next year in order to do the job more effectively?
Thank you, Lucas. Well, obviously, all of us are willing to sacrifice and sacrificing a lot of times. I know all three of us take AP courses and we have a lot of APs this week, but we've taken the time out to email all of you guys and get work done and improve our platforms and get the message out to all of you guys. And we've really been putting a lot of effort into this. And throughout the school year, obviously, all of us are going to have to sacrifice a lot of time. And I think we've already been doing that, but also we're going to have to sacrifice some people liking us, or we're going to have to grow thicker skin, because there's going to be a lot of times that maybe not the entire student body agrees with us, or we're going to have to do something that's tough for us or administration. And it's going to get tough sometimes, and sometimes you're going to have to talk, and you're going to have to fight, and you're going to have to be stubborn, and you're going to have to try to get things passed. And I think sometimes you're going to have to sacrifice your time, and you're going to have to sacrifice like a lot of things just to get what you guys want and to make the school a better place. And I believe that I will try and do my best and stay and try to get things done for all of us.
Thank you. Juanchi, once again, the office of president is rigorous, time-consuming, and requires sacrifice. What are you willing to sacrifice next year in order to do the job of president effectively?
Everything. Up to now, like Dylan said, I agree 100%. We've all been losing sleep. I sent to you guys an endorsement this morning. I was up at 3 a.m. editing that video, but that doesn't matter to me, because everything we've been doing for campaigning this week, like it makes me happy. This is something I like to do. If not, I wouldn't be here. I love doing this for you guys. As also, I'm willing to give up my leadership position so that I can focus my time on the Belen student body as a whole. I have already I'm on my way to contact Ms. Ramon and Doctora Lopez to draw my VP positions for Mu Alpha Theta and La Hispánica Sociedad. And really, in the case that I'm elected, I will notify them, because I need to invest all my this, and I'm already willing to put in the work for that. Thank you, Lucas.
Thank you, Juanchi. Now we're going to move into the individual questions. And we are going to start again with Juanchi. Which topic on your agenda do you feel is most unrealistic, and which do you feel you can undoubtedly accomplish?
Okay, that's a good question. Fair question. First thing that I think a lot of people are doubting, but in my personal opinion, to make it happen, is field day. Field day, because I've already talked with Mr. Roca about this. He seems very excited to do this. I don't know. I'm not sure. I believe my opponents here have also communicated with him. So I think all three of us can accomplish this, and we're all looking forward to this. Now, which one do I think is the most unrealistic? I would have to say adding the first and second cabinet member to my cabinet from the high school, because I think we come to a point where things have been for such a while that I don't think I can make such a radical change in the student council and the effectiveness within it. Because like when things have been one way for such a long time, I just don't think I can come in 1 year and change it all up. But that's why this is a building block, and we're gonna start setting building blocks for years after I come.
Mr. Hernandez, explain how you intend stopping the lunchline skipping problem.
So actually, how I've decided to go about the lunchline skipping issue would be that every day, either we give out a ticket at the beginning of lunch, or you'd have to scan your ID to get your first meal, right? So you'd get the ticket, and then you'd give it to the cafeteria ladies, or you'd give it to one of the disciplinarians or teachers who's in charge of the lunch line, or you would scan your ID the same way, basically. And then the disciplinarian or the teacher who's in charge of the line will be like, has anyone not scanned their ID yet, or does anyone still have their ticket? If no one in the line still has their ticket or has something, or the ID or whatever we decide to do with this, then if no one says anything, then they're allowed to go and get seconds and thirds and whatever. Because many of them, especially middle schoolers, have reached out to me saying they're tired of getting skipped in the lunch line. And I remember always getting skipped in the lunch line. Like, I still get skipped in the lunch line sometimes as an upperclassman, and it's really frustrating when you haven't eaten yet. And I think it's really important to help everyone get their first meal. And also, a lot of middle schoolers have brought to my attention that they also want the same thing implemented at Cafe Belen. I think that's a great idea and that we should probably get that done as well.
Thank you, Mr. Hernandez. Dylan, of all the items on your agenda from your complete platform, which is the one you see which one do you want to push for the most? Like, and what's
That's an amazing question. And while everything on my platform is something that I want to get done, the biggest thing is going to have to be the grade games, the idea I introduced on Tuesday. And so essentially what the grade games is, it's a school-wide competition where students in each grade would be receiving points for attending activities. It would increase the amount of student participation at activities. It would incentivize them to go, and it would just overall make the students have healthy competition with each other, resulting in a more competitive, friendly competitive environment, making Belen just more connected between grades, because that's something that's a little bit lacking right now. You don't see a lot of grade participation in terms of Belen. There's a lot of student participation within each respective grade, but not between grades. So the grade games is an excellent example of school-wide participation. Every student would be involved. Thank you.
Thank you, Dylan. Now we're going to move on to a question that is proposed to all three of you. COVID-19 is something that has taken all of us by storm, and we're going to return to school hopefully. What plan do you have as president of the school to work with the administration on helping Belen adjust to this new normal? So we're gonna to Mr. Hernandez.
All right. Well, currently with the COVID-19 issue, like it's very hard to communicate with students and obviously administration as well, because emails can get a little repetitive and annoying. Currently, I've actually been trying to get grade level Zoom calls in where they can come and speak to me and talk. And we've been like sharing ideas, and a couple of kids actually joined yesterday and we had like a good time. They got to know me and asked me questions that they had and any concerns they had as well. And I feel like next year, whether like we're probably going to be back in school once again. How that's going to work is unknown as of right now. But I think, honestly, what's the most important is right when school starts to spearhead right into what we're trying to do. Start talking to administration right away. Anyone who's on the cabinet, anyone who's VP, anyone who's trying to help out, we have to go directly to administration because we have to start off this year strong because it's going to be a hard transition for us from this year to next year.
Thank you. Wanchi, what plan do you have as president of the school with the administration on returning to Belen? How can we adjust this new normal?
Awesome question, and I want to follow up on Julian's answer because I thought it was a great answer. And in addition to that, approaching administration first, the students have to come together, and we have to talk among us on what we want, everything we want to do. This is why I made a video about the team I want to make. I still don't know who's going to be on it. I'm being completely honest. I still don't know who's going to be on it, but it's going to be diverse. Everyone will be represented in this cabinet. It's composed of around others. And really, this is how we're going to approach administration to return to normalcy that everyone is happy with. Everyone needs to be happy with this. Everyone needs to be satisfied. I'm really hoping fall sports are not canceled. I pray for that. And really, in the case that they are, we should have recognizing it for those fall sports too, because I know a lot of seniors for the spring sports this year lost their chance. And same thing could happen, hopefully not, for our class next year for the fall sports. So we want to recognize them in the case that happens too. So yeah.
Thank you, Wanchi.
Thank you.
Dylan, what plan do you have to work with the administration Belen return to a new normal when we return?
So to help return Belen to a new normal, just to echo what has already been stated by Julian and by Wanchi, it's going to have to be communication. Wanchi had said that the first thing he wants to do when he gets back to school is plan a date for field day. And we all know field day was supposed to happen this year, but couldn't due to the pandemic. But I'm going to have to take a different approach to do is go to the administration. I'm going to go to who's in charge and see what we can and cannot do. I'm going to wait for field day. First, I'm going to see what we're allowed to do in the first place. The next thing that I'm going to do is get in contact with each grade, a couple students from each grade, and see what's going on in regards to their grade individually. I'm going to get all of that information and relay it to each grade. I'm going to want to be doing these videos at the end of every week during the regular school year where I address each grade just like I'm doing during this campaign week, and just update everyone so they are all on board, so they all understand what is going on. Whether it's me or whether it's members of my cabinet that would be setting these videos up, I want everyone to know that communication is key. And so to return to normalcy, I'm going to be going to the administration first. I'm going to be contacting each grade and I'm going to be updating students every single week on
Thank you,
those
Dylan.
issues. Thank you.
Mr. Hernandez, not Mr. Hernandez, Swanchi, you talked about makeup policies for the school. Can you talk about a little bit about that?
Yeah, this is awesome because this year, this happened to me particularly January because I missed a lot of school in like a 3-week period, and it was close up for me, junior encounter, and I also led a retreat for the sophomores. And I realized that in a way, although there are makeup policies, and I have talked to Mr. Jordan about this, and this is something we discussed 2 or 3 times already maybe with regards to this. This is a policy that's technically already instated. What I want to do with those makeup policies is incorporate them into the student handbook. So it's more than a policy, like set in stone, because it's protection for the students, it's insurance, and it works for both sides. It's organized. It works for both sides. And in addition to that, I also how I want to bring back, in a way at least, a compromise to the old exemption rules, because I saw it this year from my AP teachers. At least they were not happy with the schedule because some didn't get to test for midterms. And yeah, I know my time's running out, so I'll stop there. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Swanchi. Dylan, most platforms have been talking about field day. What makes you think if you're elected as president that you can bring field day?
Okay, so you broke out at the end, but was the question how I'm going to make field day happen?
Yes.
Okay, thank you for the question. So I already know field day is going to happen, not only because it was supposed to happen this year, but the year was cut short, but because of my my connection with the administration. I have plans to make field day work. I have many activities set up already, including little sports intramural competitions during field day, video game tournaments, each activities that will cater to different groups in the school. One thing I wanted to do was create surveys and create forms to ask students what they wanted to see during field day. And so with those suggestions, we would also be implementing. And so the fact that I know that field day is going to happen itself is because administration has already been discussing it. They already accepted it for this year. And so I don't see why they wouldn't accept it for next year when the new student council is set in place. And so that's one of the things that I want to take care of early on in the year, just to have the students know that field day will be happening and that they're going to get to see the sports that they choose alongside the other ones that we pick.
Thank you, Dylan. Mr. Hernandez, you talked about on your platform about sports and clubs recognition. What is that about?
I'm so glad you asked about that. Many kids have been reaching out to me saying they really like this idea, and some members of the administration as well. So my idea for Sports and Club Recognition Day is that, of course, we have a bunch of groups, like there's football and basketball, there's rowing, wrestling, like all these groups and clubs like Mall United Nations or Debate, that a lot of them go to competitions and they win big titles and they do very well. So I think it's important to maybe like after a big competition, like maybe they win states or this like huge group, they win something. I think it's important that we have a day that recognizes them and all their accomplishments, where we have like one dress down day that we all like support, like the chess team or Mall United Nations or just any group that they've won big. And it would just really like show that we care about all of our different groups and not just certain groups. Because I hate saying like everyone's in like these little groups or factions, because we should all like be together as brothers. But I think it's important to just recognize everyone and all their individual skills.
Thank you. That's the end of the 15-minute debate, but now we move on to a 1-minute closing for each of the candidates. So we're going to start with Juanchi's 1-minute closing.
Thank you, Lucas. Thank you guys so much. Really, up to now, I think my campaign team has really helped me, and this is really, my closing statement is going to be a shout out to everyone who has helped me. I want to thank my mom, most of all. My mom is like standing right there listening to this debate, probably freaking out. She's been my rock. She supported me through this whole thing, through thick and thin. Second, I want to thank everyone who supported me, even the people that I least expected, and that they know that there's nothing to incentivize them for supporting me. It's simply just out of like, they think I'm the most fit candidate for this, and I just want to thank them for that. I want to thank everyone who supported me. This is all I have to say right now. I think I've said everything I need to say. Thank you so much, Lucas.
Thank you, Juanchi. Dylan, we will move to your closing.
Brothers, tomorrow is your greatest opportunity to make your voice heard. With the help of your vote, I will do everything in my power as president of the student council to make you guys have the most enjoyable year possible. I believe all three of us are incredible candidates and incredible people. But at the end of the day, only one of us can serve as your president. As an individual who understands your needs the best, it would be an honor to be the one chosen by all of you to take the position. On behalf of my platform, defending many points to the best of my ability. I strongly believe that my platform is also the most unique because of ideas such as the grade games, an activity that is guaranteed to leave a lasting legacy in Belen for years to come. I want to personally thank each and every one of you as fellow students, as fellow friends, of all as brothers. It was because of you that I am here today, representing ideas I am so passionate about to hopefully represent you guys, the student body, in the near future. Wanchi and Julian, thank you for an amazing race.
Thank you,
all.
Dylan. Julian, we will now move to your 1 minute closing.
I just want to say thank you to everyone who's watching and everyone who's been paying close attention to these campaigns and debates. Honestly, I think we're all great options, and I just hope you guys can make a well-informed decision and choose who you really believe will lead you the best. I don't like when politics or any campaign turns into something about like a popularity contest or whatever, and I just hope who you think will represent you the best. We all have great ideas, and we'll probably like incorporate each other's ideas no matter what, but you just have to decide on the person who you think will do the best job for you. It's a hard job, and I bet we can all do it. It's just who you believe in and who you can put your faith in. I believe that I can do this job, and I hope you guys do too. So thank you for all your support, everyone who's been reaching out to me, joining my calls, sending me emails, anyone who's been sending support. Just I really appreciate all the love I've been getting, and I hope I see you all next year.
Thank you, Julian. This concludes the 2020 presidential debate. We'd like to thank each candidate. Now, remember to vote tomorrow through on campus or through your email. That the polls are going to show up everywhere tomorrow. Now, follow us on Instagram for the latest on this year's campaign. And remember to stay home, stay safe, and stay Golden Wolverines. Thank you, guys. You did a great job.